Hello, my friends. With each passing day, Russian success dwindles increasingly to zero. Losses are not decreasing, and the weather is becoming rainy. Their grand plans to capture Avdiivka and Kupiansk are failing. Despite the somewhat unsuccessful attempt at a summer counteroffensive, the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to move in a new direction, and there is hope for success. Today, in the Kherson-Crimean direction, the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to destroy Russians on the left bank. A new video has emerged on social media showing a drone strike on Russian military personnel in the village of Kupiansk. We also know that a new airborne assault division has been deployed in this direction, and they are hopeful about their defensive positions. Meanwhile, shelling continues on the right bank, with reports of guided bomb launches in the Berslav district. There are no new changes along the front line. The occupiers released a video claiming that they have taken control of reinforced fire positions near the Antonivsky Bridge since Monday, where, according to their version, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are moving to the left bank. Overall, it's evident that they are trying to halt the advancement of our troops by cutting off their movement routes. Looking at the map of confirmed Ukrainian Armed Forces strikes on the left bank, it's clear that the most active work is happening in the area of the village of Kreminna, where both enemy equipment and personnel are being destroyed. There is also significant activity in the Oleshki area, so we await further advances. It's clear that preparations are underway. Additionally, there is an official statement from Yermak about the Ukrainian Armed Forces progress.
Yermak stressed that Ukraine is committed to restoring Ukraine's sovereignty throughout its internationally recognized territory. According to him, the Ukrainian military has covered 70% of the distance. The counteroffensive continues. Despite everything, the armed forces of Ukraine seized a bridgehead on the left bank of the Dnieper. Step by step, they are demilitarizing Crimea. We covered 70% of the distance. And our counteroffensive continues, the head of the office of the president emphasized.
About what 70% he is talking about, I don't know, so we'll wait. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, attacks from the flanks are not bringing any success for the Russians, but they persistently continue periodic attacks, suffer losses, and again retreat to their former positions. Shelling continues as well, but overall, the situation on this front remains unchanged. No major assault operations are being conducted by either side. In the Vuhledar direction, the Russians continue their attempts to break through in any direction for further their success. However, after prolonged attacks, they were hit in the area of Staromayorsk, although today attacks have resumed. All battles in the direction of Zolota Niva are unsuccessful, and in the Prechestivka area they failed to advance even a meter. This indicated a lack of plans and proper command, since the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully destroyed many headquarters and commanders with experience who have long been eliminated in these headquarters. Now we see that the attacks are happening chaotically, without any plan. These attempts to break through somewhere lead the Russians only to losses. The Ukrainian Armed Forces in turn stand in defense and successfully work against enemy formations, advancing both with artillery and drones, which are still in short supply. The front line remains unchanged over the day. In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers continue trying to shell using aviation, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully destroyed it. Yesterday evening, our units managed to shoot down another Su-25 in the Avdiivka area. Meanwhile, the weather is transitioning to maximum rainfall, which should further slow down the Russian offensive. Regardless of the Russian command's desire to capture Avdiivka, advancing knee-deep in mud will be very difficult, so the chances of surrounding the city are minimal. Moreover, not even the new Russian equipment is helping them. Yesterday, a photo of a destroyed IMR-1 engineering vehicle was published. It's created on the basis of the T-55. It's reported that these are the first recorded losses of this type of equipment. Meanwhile, offensive actions continue. Battles are taking place near Svatove, Severne, Tonenke, Pervomayske, Avdiivka, and even in the fields between Opytne and Severne. There is a possibility that the Ukrainian Armed Forces are conducting counterattacks there, trying to push the Russians back. Fierce battles are also taking place in the Vuhledar fields. However, there is no success for the Russians, and the front line remains unchanged over the day. Southward, in Mariinka, battles continue despite everything. Apparently, the occupiers aim to destroy as much of the Russian army as possible, so they suffer losses every day without making any progress. The same situation persists in Novomykhail. Everything is stable. In the Bakhmut direction, battles continue in the Klushivka and Avdiivka areas. There is a renewed escalation on the northern flank, with attacks directed towards Bogdanivka and Ivanivsk. Additionally, a significant number of shelling incidents persist. In the Kreminna and Siversk directions, the occupiers continue shelling, and they have once again initiated an offensive. Last time, they couldn't achieve success. Now we await the outcome of this battle. In the Svatove direction, attacks persist, but the occupiers have changed their direction of their assault. They failed to break through near Novoyegorivka, so now they are advancing toward the village of Nadia. Despite this, there is still a small number of shelling incidents near the frontline towns. However, over the day, the front line remains unchanged, with the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully holding their defense. In the Kupiansk direction, the occupiers are unsuccessfully attacking Sinkivka and Petropavlivka. The battles around Ivanivsk have ceased, with the occupiers facing losses and initiating regrouping. Shelling continues along the entire front line, but it doesn't lead to success for the occupiers. They are unable to capture any Ukrainian positions, and the front line remains unchanged. Moreover, rainfall has begun in this direction, hindering offensive actions. It seems that success is not in the cards for the Russians this year, as always. Meanwhile, Russians residing in the United States continue to share stories of how challenging life is in this country and how good it was in Russia.
Что вам больше всего нравится в этой стране?
Абсолютно ничего не нравится.
Что-то не та Америка, когда мы приехали. Это уже больше Советский Союз. Нет свободы слова. Раньше можно было в пьяном виде ездить. Тебя полицейский останавливал, спрашивал, да едешь ли ты дома? Говоришь, да, доеду. Говорит, ну езжай только осторожно. А сейчас ты получаешь штраф, у тебя отбирают права, у тебя отбирают машину.
Какой совет вы дадите тем, кто едет в эту страну?
Пусть не подумают лишний раз. Не подарок Америка. Я лично очень за Путина. Считаю, что все, что он делает, это очень правильно. Я думаю, что в России будет лучше, если они там останутся.
Через 10 лет в этой стране никто не будет говорить по-английски.
Что хорошего делает Путин?
То, что он говорит, вот когда он пресс-конференции, или он выступает цифрами, прямо наизусть все помнит. Или послушать американского президента, или послушать Путина. Это далеко не одно и то же. Вот поэтому. Видно, что человек участвует во всех делах.
Не думаете переехать в Россию?
Знаете, если бы я был помоложе, я бы задумался. Но мне уже немножко поздновато.
Будем страдать здесь, так сказать.
Meanwhile, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has arrived in the United States for the first time in 6 years. He will participate in the summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation in San Francisco and is scheduled to meet with the US President today.
A safe and peaceful environment.
Professor Liu, we are now watching live signal from San Francisco, where Chinese President Xi Jinping has just stepped out of his cabin of his airplane, and this marks the beginning of his visit to the United States. He's here to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden, as well as to attend the 30th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. And anticipation is high that this will mark a significant shift in tone in bilateral relations, and the summit between the leaders of the two countries will be their second face-to-face meeting as presidents of their countries, and this will also be the first time that President Xi Jinping travels to American soil since 2017. And as we could see right there, he's being greeted by California Governor Gavin Newsom, who paid a visit to China late October.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.